Okay, we're back, and the reason we're a couple minutes late is because I forgot entirely. So I just had to go out and run a couple of errands because I had to go to the post office and do some other things. To what little extent my business is still in business, I had to go do my things, and I had to go get chocolate mints from Trader Joe's because I have to. And well, while I was in them, they have all those stupid, annoying displays that are always in the middle of the floor. They're gone, so it's wide open. And you can just walk really easily. And I told them, I said, I don't mind if you keep it like that. I mean, I'm sorry about the reason, but I don't mind that at all. So we're here, and we're going to draw another picture of a pretty girl, because that's what I do. And this one, just to be different, is going to be stark ass naked. But since I'm only drawing her head, I'm not going to know. My parents, God bless them, um, when I was a teenager, I would draw somebody's face like that on a piece of paper, and they would make me put a thing like that down there to indicate that she had a shirt on, because otherwise it was nudity. You can't have that. That's why I draw naked women every day now, obsessively. I hope that's not actually why I draw naked women all the time, but part of me thinks it might be. I might still be being controlled by my parents and the church they went to, because when you're doing everything in rebellion, you're still you're still doing still constructing your life around that thing, whatever it is. On the other hand, we'd have never had that conversation if I hadn't had the inclination to do that. So maybe it's just my natural inclination. This girl's looking up a little bit, which drops her ears a little lower. We had that conversation on live the other night. We had a model that was put together all wrong, and her ears weren't sitting in the right place. It has to be the model's fault because I didn't know what to do. Can't possibly be my fault. I drink diet soda with my chocolate. So there is a reason why for the last few days you have not seen me actually draw any pictures of naked women, or even pull out an old picture of naked women and post it with the modifications that I made, like putting a costume on her and all that stuff. And the reason is, uh, broadly speaking, I keep getting in trouble over that. something I changed right after this quarantine thing started. I decided if my whole world's going to be online, I'm going for a bigger audience. So I looked around Facebook, and I'm still not done doing this. I'm going to do more. But I looked around Facebook for groups. You can join groups for every topic in the world. Um, and I looked around for groups that had something to do with science fiction, fantasy, even little subgenres like Sword and Planet, Sword and Sorcery, steampunk, that sort of thing. Gothic horror, uh, fairies, unicorns. You know, there's subgenre. There's groups, little groups for everything. And I'm looking for ones particularly that will let me let me post my own artwork. Some of them it's kind of not clear. You got to get in there and then sort of say, "Is this okay?" And post something. And if they say no, that's not okay, then you kind of go, "Okay, well, bye." And so I post my stuff. So all of a sudden, I went from like this video will probably have 12, 15 likes, by the end of the day. Um, one assumes that's how many people looked at it, or maybe twice that many people looked at it but didn't like it, or didn't bother to click on anything. So that's cool, but all of a sudden, if I'm sharing to 20 different groups, I've got like 2,000 reactions, compared to 12 that I'm used to. And so, in one day I can have thousands of responses, usually not comments, although I've find myself, pretty busy just writing, "Oh, thanks, thank you," and things like that. But yeah, I've got a lot of things to reply to. And of course, the more you put yourself out there in the world, the more you're exposing yourself to all the things out there in the world, like people who hate you, or people who are mad, or people who have a particular antipathy for drawings of naked women, or monsters, or whatever. So suddenly, I've always occasionally encountered that, once in a while. But suddenly, uh, it's almost a daily event. Sometimes, possibly multi times a day, I'm getting reported to Facebook, and either the guy that runs the group has got to send me a note to say, "Hey, I'm sorry, but I had to take your post down because of the nudity," or something like that, or I got a thing back from Facebook saying this violates our standard. I've got no problem following the rules. If I don't want to follow the rules, I got no business going to the event, right? It's just like, if if you're gonna go, you want to play in this playground, and there's rules. You can either obey the rules or say, "I don't want to play here," and go play somewhere else. Um, Problem when there's a monopoly, there may not be very many other places to play, but still kind of my problem, not theirs. So I don't mind playing by the rules. It's just that the rules appear to have changed, and I'll say why. I know I said this in a previous video, so if this is a repeat, to you. Just fast forward or something. But probably 7, 8 years ago, I don't remember exactly. I posted a picture of Ned the Barbarian, and Ned's usually got his butt showing, but this one was a full frontal nudity, and it was pretty well detailed, and he was just standing there with everything hanging out, and I got a note from Facebook saying this post, and they showed the picture. They gave me the picture back and said this post has been reported for obscenity. This is just an FYI because we looked at it and decided it's not obscene, it's art. So it's okay. But just they were just letting me know that somebody had objected, and so I was like, huh, okay. That was the first time anything like that had happened. And then so I figure I'm good. I mean, as long as I am not being mean to anybody or whatever, my life drawings of people, even if there's genitalia, even if there's naughty bits hanging out, I have a note from the teacher, that says this is fine, basically. And so I was just going on that assumption that this is going to be fine. And in the next, in recent times, all of a sudden, about now, apparently that is no longer fine. So I and lots of other people are getting reported, and posts are being removed, and I've had some stuff removed from here, from my main page. I've had stuff removed from some of these other groups that I've joined. I've had, I guess sometimes what they do is they approach the admin of the group and say, people are posting bad stuff here, you need to take that down. So I'll get notes from the admins and everything, and it's not everything, but it's all of a sudden, this is happening. And I went back and looked at the Facebook rules just to see, did they, have I missed a general announcement that, hey, this used to be okay, but we've changed our policy and this is no longer okay. Well, they really haven't. They're using the same language that they were using all along, which is when they say, no nudity. The assumption, they don't explicitly state this, but the assumption I think everybody's making is we're talking about photographs. So they'll say on Facebook, no nudity except art. Okay. And so, my stuff's art. Well, I guess some people could take exception and go, well, it's not art if it's dirty, so it's porn, or something like that. And I don't know. I guess apparently it's starting to change. So even though their verbiage is the same, it still says no nudity except art. That's what it said all along. That's what it said when they didn't reject that picture. But now they're starting to reject things because there's a nipple or something. And so I even had a friend say he got the notification, your post has been taken down because it violates our standards on nudity and sexual content. And it was like a photograph of his burger or something. There was nothing sexual in the picture, or even that could be mistaken for something sexual. And yeah, Sharon says the prudes are stuck indoors with not enough to do. I think there's something to that. And it may also be like somebody who's either working at home that isn't usually, but for whatever reason it's not a problem at work to look at stuff like that, or they always work at home but their kids are usually not at home. Then yeah, their kid might be sitting behind them. I think Stellar's saying the same thing. Yeah, their kid might be sitting right behind them, and all of a sudden they're going, oh God, my kids are seeing this. Um, which with my stuff still should not be a problem, but um, possibly people are suddenly reacting differently to things that they've looked at all along. And of course, I'm the one that's going to change, you know, God forbid somebody thinking, they got to change their own behavior. So they've got to change my behavior. So that's what's happening. So my special request is, if you hate what I'm doing, please just unfriend me and leave. I mean, I really hate to say things like that. I don't want anybody to unfriend me and leave, but um, life drawing and the changes that I make to life drawing is what I do. It's what I do for a living or for a hobby, or it is literally who I am and what I do. And to just say, just in case somebody out there is being stupid and they this kind of imagery is something, maybe they tell their children you can never ever ever look at, and then they're going to sneak off and look at it, and just in case somebody's doing that, I've got to change everything about my entire life, about what I do for a living, what I do for fun, who I am, what kind of artwork I do. I've got to change everything. Um, if that's how you're seeing it, I wish you'd just go away. Um, I don't want to say that, but I do. I wish you'd just go away and let me live my life. Don't report me to Facebook. Don't report anybody to Facebook. There's literally several billion people on Facebook. They're not all going to be doing things that you like very much. Don't go scouring the internet for things you don't like. And I do think there's people who kind of see, well, my worldview is the right worldview, so it's kind of my role to go out and correct things when I see this going on. It's not a matter of opinion. I'm right. That's entirely different. I know people think like that because I used to think like that. I was raised to think like that. I used to belong to a church, and we saw it as our sacred obligation. Go out on Saturday morning and knock on doors and try to tell people what was wrong with how they were living their life. And I did not make a single friend in the process of doing that, not one. I remember having a friend in school that when he found out I was doing that, he was like, how come you never tried converting me to your church? And that was really awkward because I didn't really quite have an answer for that. And I had an answer that I didn't dare tell him or tell myself, even just say it out loud, lest God strike me dead. But the real truth was, I knew for a fact the whole process made people hate me, and I didn't want my friends to hate me. So I wasn't trying to convert my friends. I was going up to strangers and trying to convert them. I'm over that, by the way. I'm not going to try to convert you to anything. I have strong beliefs about diet, chocolate mints, cats, but I'm not going to try to convince you. However, at the moment, I'm drawing bodiless heads. There's not going to be any nudity on my Facebook until whoever's on a high horse has gotten bored and gone away. Um, and possibly there never will be again. It just depends. I mean, the other thing about it is I've been talking to people who've been suspended for periods of time. I don't know that there's any of the, I think you'd have to do something very, very bad to get banned from Facebook for life. Like be a convicted terrorist or something. I don't think most of us have it in us to get banned for life. But I do know people who've been banned for a day, a week, a month, 3 months, um, and that would be rough. I mean, especially right now, you know. And the worst part about all of that is you tend to find out by getting banned. Um, Sometimes there doesn't seem to be a structured thing like you have at work, where you get a write up and then you get another one, and you know, you get told if there's a third one, you're going to fire your ass or something. Well, Facebook may not do that. You may just simply get suspended. Just get up one day, try to go on Facebook, your account's been suspended. Maybe if it was going to go on for a long time, there'd be more of a process. I really don't know. That's kind of not something I can see from where I'm sitting. But if I decide at some point and go, oh, I think I'm safe, post a life drawing, it's got nudity, and then you go, oh, haven't seen Gil in a couple weeks. That's probably what happened. Um, so yeah, there's this going on. I mean, I like drawing stuff like this. I do it anyway. I could make a go of Facebook, just drawing animals, just drawing dinosaurs, just drawing conceptual designs of spaceships. Versatile. I can do different stuff. It's just I was doing what I wanted to be doing. This is just a big black eraser. Factus, it says. Factus Black 18. I don't know why it's black. It started life black. Most of my erasers turn black because of all the charcoal, but I like it. It really cuts the stuff out. This eraser is white. It's a little click eraser, and I like these for fine details. This little glint in her eye. I don't know how obvious it is, but if you do a really sharp white glint in her eye and then you go over to the other side, you want to go a little less, just a little bit. If you've lightened up the whites of her eyes over here and you want to do a little over here, don't do as much. Leave it a little halfway dark and maybe about the same amount over here. And probably leave that side alone because there is less light. You know, the eyeball swings out. So there's less light on this side than there is on this side. And there's less light over here because some of the light's being blocked by her nose. So there's some shadow over there. You might get the same intensity of highlight on both eyes if the light was like right in front of her. But I don't like photos like that because they're pretty flat. You don't get all this interesting shadow. Hey, Evan. Yeah, I'll start over. Actually, if you were ready to hang out for half an hour, I'll start over. It's not like I'm doing anything. But just to recap, I've been complaining for 29 minutes. So that's pretty much it. You get it. I think you've heard me do that before. Would you like a chocolate mint? I got plenty. I've slightly less than I had before. There's like an instant when your teeth bite through the chocolate when it's really still a little bit hard and it goes snap and your mouth just fills up with that mint flavor. That's all I want. Just that kind of what. But you got to eat a whole other chocolate to get that again. That's how they sell me 3 boxes at a time instead of just one. Okay, well, that's pretty fun. There's absolutely nothing science fiction or fantasy about it yet. I've got to fix that. I mean, she does have that 1,000-yard stare. The girl in the picture just looks, exotic, just kind of like, oh. But this one looks worried, like, oh my God, what's going on over there? Which I like better, actually. I think that makes it better. But you're gonna have to use your imagination for what's going on over there because I don't have enough paper to draw over there. Suppose if I was really clever, I could give her a pair of goggles that are very shiny and reflective, and then I could draw the alien invasion or the mushroom cloud or whatever in the goggles. So you could go, I wonder what she's looking at, and then eventually notice mushroom cloud down there and go, oh. If I was clever, I could think of something like that, but I just can't think of anything like that. There, you can clearly see Saturn in the sky. It is now science fiction. And that must be all I've got for today. So I'll talk to you all tomorrow. Today's Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. And so, yeah, I'll talk to you all tomorrow. 3 o'clock again. I'm going to try to be consistent now. Consistently late. Talk to you later.